What time is that?
Don't mind me. I'm finishing my breakfast.
You're looking live at Keith eating his breakfast.
Hello, folks.
Hello.
Happy draft hangover week.
Yeah.
Playoffs week. Playoffs. Got a lot of playoffs to talk about.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
And the Dodgers and the Yankees keep on rolling. See, Aaron Judge has hit 430.
Yep.
He'll cool off. Don't worry.
He might get down to 400.
Somebody will hit a fly ball out to him and where he plays, and he'll drop. It'll be like a fifth inning flashback all over again.
Or he'll have another Dodger Stadium flashback where he ran through the wall and like broke his ankle or whatever.
That's right. I think they played. Don't the Dodgers and the Yankees play in Yankee Stadium this year?
Probably.
Oh man, I'd love to see that.
I think they might.
I think they do. I have to look at the schedule. I'm almost positive they do.
By the way, if you have a Walmart near you with the grocery store in it,
Yes.
you're gonna laugh. But these chocolate muffins they make are freaking awesome.
Oh, they are good.
They're really moist and chocolatey, and
How bad are they for you?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's insignificant at the time.
All right.
And speaking of Walmart, Speaking of Walmart, with another product endorsement, I found the weirdest thing of Pringles that has come out recently. They have a limited edition. I'm going to hold it up here. It's called Beer Can Chicken Light.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
They have one called Steak. I gave it to my roommate because I don't like steak that much, but could you imagine? How you doing, Bruce? I'm having some Pringles and I'm getting really, it's the chicken tastes like amazing. Hiccup.
Sports Chat has been preempted by Junk Food Central. All right, so you got to give us a junk food now. I gave you the muffins. Bruce gave you the chips.
I got nothing. Just plain black coffee. That's all I have.
My coffee's getting cold. I might have to go microwave it.
I'm drinking my Pepsi Zero. So, okay, now in the world of sports, this is called filler.
This is vamping. And actually, can you vamp for one more second? I got to turn the fan on. It's hot in here. I'll be right back.
Actually, I have something, but I don't have it down here to show.
What you got?
There's a dark chocolate. I'm into dark chocolate because of the.
Oh, Edson, the way you talk. I'm
So
more of a mocha mix.
There's a brand called Choc Zero, and it makes such great dark chocolate, and it's really good. The sugar content's so low. I can't believe how good it is for you.
Really?
So I wanted to just I don't have I don't have it down here, so I don't.
The sugar content of these muffins is not low, but it's very.
Yeah, I understand. I wasn't thinking it was.
It's like 300 calories for each muffin.
Oh wow!
Sometimes that's all I eat until dinner.
Okay, well,
That's crazy.
Right. That and my coffee. Where do you want to start? I'll let you guys pick.
Well, at the end, I got 2 trivia questions for you, so I'll hold off on those.
I like Bruce's trivia.
Okay.
You know, we should stagger them. Like we could, so that even if there's people watching that want to put their answer in the chat.
Okay.
Like we could ask the question, then come back to it, and then ask the second.
Okay.
You want to ask one now?
Okay. Yes. The original 6 hockey teams are, and where do they play their home games?
Currently, or where did they play their home games?
Yeah, where did they play their home games? Original 6.
Oh, when they originated? Oh my god.
That's
Maple Leaf Gardens.
Right.
What was Montreal called? The Forum.
Right.
Boston Garden.
Right.
Wow.
Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Detroit was not Joe Louis because Joe Louis wasn't born yet. What the hell? It was probably something like, Ford Arena or something stupid like that. The Detroit Ice Palace, something like that. So the two I have to guess still are Chicago and Detroit.
Some kind of car make or something.
Chicago was in that old building forever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what was that place called?
This is bad.
Oh my God, the Blackhawks were in that old shithole.
Right, and it had the best organ there. It was like really you were right on top of the ice.
Right. Was it connected to a train station?
I think it was train. I'm not really sure.
Oh my God, what was the name of it though?
Five seconds.
I'm gonna kill myself for Chicago. I should know that one.
Okay. Detroit was called the Olympia.
The Olympia, yes. Oh my God. How many times did I read about Gordy?
Right. And Chicago was called Chicago Stadium.
Oh.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you next time. Yeah. I mean, they were in that, up until like 20 years ago.
Right. They played there because Michael Jordan got his start in Chicago Stadium.
Yeah, exactly. I told you I was going to kill myself for not remembering that.
Yeah, because when you said, what's the name of that stadium? I'm like, oh my gosh. If he doesn't get this part, this is bad.
Yeah. That's a good one, though.
Okay.
I got 4 of them.
Yes, very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's just remembering the names of the buildings. I can see them in my brain, but I couldn't remember the name. Because
now you can't even mention the name of the stadiums where they play now because everything is so
the corporate naming. That's
name, right?
Oh yeah.
That's where I was going with it. Like now it's Heinz this and tossed salad that and
you're right.
This.
AT&T
that.
Nature Valley, something like that. No.
Yeah. The Pfizer syringe bowl, all that kind of stuff.
And don't forget our favorite stadium, everyone. SoFi.
Oh yeah, SoFi, definitely.
SoFi Bank, yeah.
Okay. All right.
SoFi is so good. All right. So where should we go? Do you want to go baseball? Do you want to go hockey? Do you want to go basketball or football?
At some point, I did have a sort of a quiz game, post-draft quiz, not about the draft itself, but about the effects of the draft.
Let's go to the draft.
Yes. Yeah, because I have a question about that draft.
Let me bring up the draft. Boom. Okay. Go ahead, Edson. Where do you want to start?
No. I mean, like I said, my thing wasn't about the actual draft. It was like what after the effects of the draft. Like, I have some questions of what you guys might think might happen in like 5 or 6 months or so.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. Based on the fact that there's about, and this has been happening for the last 20 years, 40 to 50% playoff turnover. Who's most likely to make the playoff?
What did you just say?
It's been like about, I think, at least 10 or 20 years where there's like not quite half the teams, but almost half the teams that make the playoffs the previous year don't make it. Then you have fresh new teams making it next year.
Oh, you're talking about
playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Okay. For those of us following along at home, that was just for you.
Who's most likely to make the playoffs this coming year? Patriots or the Bears? Or neither, I guess.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a great question. If I may go first, I'm going to take, as much as I hate to say this, I hate both of them with a passion, especially in New England. As much as I hate to say this, the Bears showed me something by being my boys in Green Bay. And I think with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, they're going to get really good really quick because he's the offensive-minded quarterback. And the Bears have never had a quarterback that's offensive minded. Only thing they've had quarterbacks that roam the sidelines looking for that final timeout in perpetuity.
Yes, Matt Eberflus.
Right. He's still looking for that timeout.
Yeah, I can find a story on that if you give me a minute.
And in the draft, they went heavy into the offense again this year.
Wide receivers galore.
So
Yeah.
giving him a lot of more weapons to play with.
Yeah, that's going to be tough because the Patriots will be much, much better.
I think so too,
as well.
Unfortunately, but based on the coach and
the thing.
Yes, I forgot about that.
The Bears division is really tough.
That's the other part of it. It's like they definitely face a more tougher. But, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Okay, it could be visit in like 5 months.
It could be the Patriots, though, only because the division's a little easier than.
That's a good point. I never thought about it. That's a great point.
But all things being equal, I think the Bears will be, of the two, the better team.
Right.
Maybe. Who knows? What do we know? We're on YouTube.
What do we know?
Yeah, what do we know?
Are we getting Patriots? No. Do we know? No. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to lash out. I'm sorry.
All right.
Go ahead, Edson. What's your next question, brother?
Let's see. Who now on the opposite side of it? Who's most likely to miss, Denver or Minnesota?
Oh,
Minnesota
because of the new quarterback.
Yeah.
Because McCarthy is it JJ McCarthy or something like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
He hasn't done anything yet. That's the thing. He hasn't done anything yet, so you don't know what you're looking at.
Okay. I mean, they were what 14 and or 15, 14 and 2,
14 and 3. Yeah.
14 and 3, and they fell apart at the end of the season.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. And this one's to you, Bruce. Who's most likely to win that division? The Lions repeating or the Packers this time?
Okay, let's figure this out.
I mean, the Lions lost a lot of, they lost a lot of coaching. Obviously, the offensive and defensive coordinator.
Oh man, hold on. There's a song that's coming into my brain. Dun, 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 dun. Go Pack, go. Okay, Green Bay.
Okay. All right, we're gonna see about that.
I mean, Well, I love Mark Murphy when he said, for the first time and since blah blah blah, we're getting a receiver, and they picked 2 of them this year. And you talk about a team getting is young and they're going to be good. Now, if they can get their defense to play consistently, we'll have something to go on.
Okay. And this is going to be all of our favorite ones because going over into the AFC, who's most likely to win that division? The Chiefs or any other team in that division?
Any other team.
Any other team.
You really think this will be it? The fall? Okay. I mean,
yes.
I agree actually, but never know.
Yeah, Perna did a video on it.
Okay.
They didn't have a great draft, and they struggled all of last year. They had one convincing win, and that happened to be against mired in mediocrity Pittsburgh Steelers.
And that was it 9 or 11 games that were like one score game. Like you can't repeat that stuff. I mean, how can you?
Doinking kicks off the crossbar. Lots of help from the officials.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift, evil voodoo magic.
Yep.
So, and guys like Kelsey are a year older.
And Philadelphia exposed them.
And
big time. Big time.
Yeah, the blueprint for them. Okay. I only have one last kind of fun one that will go right into the draft, and that's who will be most likely start games this season for not because of injury. Dart over in the Giants or Shador in Cleveland?
Dart.
Okay.
I will have to go with that because that ties into one of my questions I'm going to ask about Shador.
Okay,
But
well, let's go right into the. I am leaning towards because they actually think that they're hoping that Dart will be their future quarterback, so they're going to give him every chance they have. Whereas on the other hand, Shador shares that QB room with like 5 other guys that he's got to really prove himself, obviously. So,
Yeah, that was a weird draft.
Let's go right into that.
Yeah, Bruce, you right after you signed off, I went solo for 5 minutes or so, and then Edson popped on.
okay.
It was right in time for, well, this stuff to happen down here. This trade, the Dart thing. We were freaking out, like, holy shit.
I know.
So it was
you're there for the trades. Yeah.
No surprise. Cam Ward went first overall to Tennessee, and the poor guy's going to get the crap beat out of him probably.
Yeah.
Then the big trade, because I was only there for the trades. I don't know.
Right. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I think you did. I'm not really sure, though.
I got that message.
Cleveland, Jacksonville, which is, I think that trade works for both teams, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So Travis Hunter, the Giants, I thought did a great job here. Abdul Carter, you got to take the best player available. They did, even though they wanted a quarterback. As we know, they played it smart.
Speaking of Abdul Carter, he's the linebacker, right?
He's an edge, yeah.
Is he the one that was talking to Lawrence Taylor about getting his number, or is that somebody else?
That was him.
And Taylor said, "No, make your own way."
Yeah, and he's right. And it's like, come on, you haven't done a damn thing. I know you're a great prospect, but geez, do actually
then
on the field.
As Paul Harvey would say, here's the rest of the story. Phil Simms said, "You can have my number because you wore number 11 at Penn State," and he said, "I'll be honored to do that." Next day, Simms comes back and said, I talked to my family about it. They said no, so get your own number.
All right, I didn't hear that part of it.
Yeah, that came in today.
I heard the Lawrence Taylor part of it, which I thought was kind of nervy, but
Wow, Phil took it back. You can't take
it. Yeah, because Phil talked to the wife and kids, and they said, this is so bad. I can see Chris Sims saying, "Dad, come on, I'm a quarterback. How come I can't have number 11? Because you suck."
Right. Wow. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it came through. So he's got to find his own way.
I think he's the next, what's that guy from Dallas there? Keep drawing blanks.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Micah Parsons?
He's another one of those. Yeah. He's a game wrecker. Will Campbell to the Patriots. Going to build a line in front of Drake May, which is smart.
Yep.
Because Drake May is really good. Then the Browns took their trade pick to number 5.
Mason
Graham, defensive tackle. Good pick. The Raiders. How many times did we bring up last year how stupid they were to let Josh Jacobs walk away to the Packers?
They had this guy on.
So they go and get another one. Good pick, Genty.
That was a good pick.
Yeah. Jets go offensive tackle because their line is traditionally bad.
I give them credit for staying smart on that one.
This one I called Panthers. I didn't call McMillan, but I said they're going receiver because they got nothing but Adam Thielen, who's 112.
Right.
Saints go offensive tackle. The Saints have a wholly daunting task of rebuilding everything.
Yeah, but you might as well start with the line.
Yeah. Bears go tight end, Colston Loveland. A lot of people thought they should have taken Tyler Warren instead.
Yeah, that's where I'm going back and forth.
But they get a weapon. They loaded up on weapons for Caleb. 49ers, this is a good pick for them too. An edge. Michael Williams out of Georgia, good pick. Cowboys go guard. Disciplined. Shocking.
I am shockingly. I was surprised at this because I know they had both Genty and the wide receiver McMillan. They had them both like trying to get them, and once they went, they kind of stayed sensible here.
Yeah, and usually Jerry wants one of those splashy, skilled guys as number one because you want, but wow, to get a boring old guard.
That's when. I mean, if Edson was on with us, I know he had things going on. Because you said you were shocked. That would have been a perfect time for you, Keith, to hit that sounder. They're like
This one.
this one, right?
Yeah,
Because
that's
the way
the one.
because the way Edson said he was shocked about it, I'm like, okay, I understand his point.
I mean,
Yeah.
he must have just had other people listen to other people's advice. That doesn't sound like Jones at all. But
No.
Well, he is. Jerry Jones is getting up there.
I know. Yep.
Yeah, actually, I got to show you guys this. I got his action figure.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Wait a minute, Jerry Jones action figure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blow it up.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that, huh?
For the first pick for the Dallas Cowboys, they're selecting Don Meredith, SMU.
That's Dandy Don to you.
That's right.
Wow.
We just dated ourselves. All the kids.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I don't get that reference.
What about Tony Romo?
Oh, I got to make one of him fumbling the kick hold or something.
Yeah.
Kenneth Grant, Edson, defensive tackle. You're a Dolphins fan. What do you think of this?
I won't be a Dolphins fan for no.
That's a sound bite. That's a sound bite.
I actually like this pick. I mean, they're towards especially in the latter half of the year, their defense just kind of melted away. They need to shore up that line so bad.
Speaking of the Dolphins, Edson, I got some bad news for you.
Oh gosh, and more? I mean, what else
yes.
could there be?
According to NFL News, Aaron Rodgers is predicted to sign with the Miami Dolphins regarding the uncertainty of Tua Tagovailoa.
What?
No way. There's
You're
no
making
way.
that up.
It's on Sporting News 9 hours ago.
Holy
I'm
cow!
gonna look into this.
Why would he do that? They're like as far away from trying to make it as possible. I mean,
As the Steelers are.
No, the Steelers are closer than them.
Nay.
They paid all that money to Tua.
Like, hold on.
Wow.
It's on Sporting News 9 hours. It came through 9 hours ago.
You really got me this. I really thought you were setting me up for something. I'm like,
oh, did I?
Serious?
No, because I saw that just before I got on the air. We got on the air. I'm like, Edson's not going to be happy.
What? No, from looking from his point, I'm not even talking about whether I'm happy or not, but from Rodgers' point of view, that line is not good enough for him. The offensive keeping him, upright, and the Dolphins aren't even that close unless he had this really long talk with Tyreek Hill and let's go for it one more time.
Good point. Great point.
That's the only thing I can think of.
That's
it. That's the only thing I can think of.
I'm not finding it, but I do see that George Pickens trade request.
Well, yeah, I saw that too. I actually thought that might happen in the draft. Wow. Okay.
So here's what I think's gonna. Well, we'll get to George Pickens, but
well, that's a good one, Bruce. Well,
I saw that this morning. I saw that early this morning.
Jeez.
Wow. And it's not April 1st.
Yeah.
The Colts get the next Brock Bowers.
I think that's a steal.
Ty Warren
for the Colts to get here, and I thought the Cowboys were going to try to nab him.
Yeah. Falcons go edge Jalen Walker out of Georgia. They needed pass rush. They had the lowest sacks in a long time.
Yep.
Cardinals defensive tackle Walter Nolan. Cincinnati gets some defense and edge Shamar Stewart.
That's what they need.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a great Joe Burrow action figure. It said, has the Joe Burrow action figure. It says defense not included. Seahawks go guard. Tampa Bay gets another wide receiver. Because their guys are getting old.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This guy's awesome too. Agabuka. Broncos go corner.
Wow. I mean,
they already have a great secondary.
They probably have the best secondary in the just trying to make it shut down everything here.
I think this
Right.
guy's gonna be a slot guy, like a nickel
Okay.
slot.
Oh yeah,
But
it'll be interesting to see Denver's defense for sure.
Yep. And then it was all lined up. It looked so obvious. Oh,
I know it did.
the Steelers are gonna take Shedeur Sanders.
Edson. Your boy was. He had the monitor in one hand and Pepto-Bismol in the other. He was crapping bricks.
I actually said to Bruce, I'm having loose stool here.
He was going crazy. When they said the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock, Keith is like this.
You can go back and watch it. It's true.
It's true.
I mean, him not being taken at the beginning of the draft wasn't that much of a shocker, but him not being taken here, that was.
That's my question. That's my question. When we finish the first round, I have a big question about him. I really do.
All the talk all week in Pittsburgh was if he happens to fall to 21, the Steelers are grabbing him, and they didn't.
Mhm.
They went with a phenomenal DT, Derek Harmon, who sadly his mom passed away hours after he was drafted.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
What the heck?
She was on life support, and after he talked to Tomlin, he went to the hospital to tell her he got drafted, and he was able to do that. And she died not long after that.
It's almost like I want to know my son's future, and then okay, I'm okay now.
Like she held out for him.
Yeah.
Just horrible. I mean, I can't even imagine. The
Another thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers pick, Edson. We were watching it. Of course, Keith and I were watching this together. He was like 3 seconds ahead of TV. So I said, Keith, just put it on mute. He's like, okay, I will.
Well, it was I had to screen it like I do now, and they were popping in.
Right.
That's right.
He's like, okay. He was like, oh my gosh, it was bad.
Yes. But it worked out because when they picked Derek Harmon, I was very happy.
Yes.
Chargers get their running back. Watch out for the San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers.
And didn't they already get the Pittsburgh guy? Didn't they already get a running back from Pittsburgh recently?
Yeah, they got Najee Harris.
They got Najee Harris.
Wow.
Yeah.
Signed him as a free agent. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, that's Harbaugh. Harbaugh is going to emphasize the run.
Yep.
He didn't. Wasn't it a couple years ago when he was a coach in Michigan against Penn State? They ran the ball like the whole second half and only threw the ball three times.
3 times.
Yep.
Which was the knock coming in on JJ McCarthy because he didn't have to do much.
Right. So we'll see.
So jury's out on. That's why I think Rodgers still wants to go there, and he's hoping that JJ doesn't look too sharp in minicamp and stuff. Minnesota calls him up.
Unless he's already in the Dolphin camp.
I think he's going to hold out till like July. I don't think he's going to pick a team till then.
He said he's going to pick a team by the OTAs, which is the end of this month.
Wow. Okay, we'll see then.
Yeah. He says a lot of things, and you know what? For a guy like, I don't think he's too interested in football. To be honest, he's just not.
He's looking for a way. Yeah, he's looking for a way to do like a blaze of glory, like just to get all the attention back on him. So he's got to pick a spot there to do that.
God, he's such a diva.
I thought this was a steal.
Yes, Packers. That's because the Packers cheat at everything they do. I don't know if you know that.
Well, I mean, I thought this guy was going to go earlier, and like even the Cowboys or whatever. But wow,
Golden was. This is a golden pick, Bruce, by the way.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Have you seen the commercials they have now? Jordan Love going back and he throws the ball to that guy for a Packers touchdown. They already started the commercials.
Jeez. Wow.
I bet he gets like 11 or 12 tutties this year. Golden in that offense. Vikings go guard, which after we saw their offensive line breakdowns at the end of the year.
That makes sense.
Probably a good idea, especially with a rookie QB.
Right.
And then Bruce signed off. I covered the Vikings draft by myself, and then Edson pops in just in time for Houston trades
Those
with the Giants.
trades. The trades.
That's right.
And
Wow.
the Giants, we were like, oh, they just traded back in to get Shador.
That was the obvious thing for me.
And if you go watch, I'll put our draft stream link in the thing, in the comments below. Because if you go back and watch, Edson and I react in real time to this Jackson Dart pick. We were like, what? I was screaming. Like, I couldn't believe it.
That's
I gotta check that out.
And knowing how Jackson Dart, like they a lot of teams were talking about him in the last couple of weeks. Like
yes,
he was climbing
he
up.
had risen up. Yep.
But he was still third, at least third. It was always Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, Jackson Dart, and then everybody else, you know.
Then you start hearing the stories about how Shador's interview with Dabo didn't go very well, and that's
the point I wanted to make about that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Wait, you can wait till then.
Yeah. Well, we'll go through the first round, then we'll go straight to Shador.
Yep.
Falcons. Then right after that, another trade. Falcons trade with the Rams. Rams trade down to 46, I believe, out of the first round.
Yep.
And the Falcons take another edge. So the Falcons are serious about fixing that pass rush problem that they have.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Smart. The Ravens get up. I've been hearing this guy's like an all-world safety. Like, why do the Ravens keep getting?
Somehow the Ravens always wind up picking up a gem way in the back.
Always.
It started with Ed Reed, because Ed Reed was supposed to be like, he went to Miami. That was his main call to glory. But then he was just like, him and Ray Lewis just meshed, and it was like they made a great defense.
Now they got Marlon Humphreys. Like, they just keep coming up with these guys, right? Detriot goes defensive tackle.
After they got hit so hard with those injuries with the defense.
Yeah.
They gave up 45 points to Washington.
Yeah.
All right. Not that I'm wishing this on anybody, but how long before this guy gets hurt in Detroit? You know?
Yeah, I know.
The Redskins pick up Josh Connerly, Jr., offensive tackle out of the Ducks, Gun Ducks.
Mm-hmm. The best uniforms in college football.
Yes. Bills go with a corner, which probably a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, yep.
The Beagles take a linebacker. The Beagles completely restocked their defense. Their first 5 picks were all defense.
And this
Very
was like
smart.
This was like another interesting little thing how these two teams switched, they traded. They traded back and forth
with each other for some stupid reason.
I have no idea what the point of that was.
Me either, because they didn't take a similar position player.
Yeah.
Unless the Eagles thought the Chiefs wanted Campbell and they really had to have him.
All that did was give the Chiefs another pick later on, but okay.
Right. And then the Chiefs take an offensive tackle, another one, right? Didn't they already take one up here?
No, that was their first pick.
That was their first pick. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, obviously that was their glaring weakness, the offensive line.
Yeah, their offensive line is a disaster. So that was the first round in a nutshell. And then we figured, Edson and I signed off by speculating about round 2. Because round 2 had the Browns picking twice in the first 4, knowing they had needed a quarterback. And we could see that Houston and Seattle didn't really. I mean, Seattle, you could argue might. But yeah. And then Shador didn't go. And then the 3 of us were texting each other like he kept falling.
Yeah, he just
kept on falling.
I can't. I honestly couldn't. I honestly started feeling sorry for him after day 2,
especially when the Saints picked Tyler.
Yeah.
His name Choke. It's pronounced like Shoke, I think.
And I had actually heard a couple days before that this guy was going up too, but not this far up where he's ahead of Shador.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think this guy was had a 3rd or 4th round grade on him, and he goes in the 2nd. And then the next quarterback off.
And then Cleveland actually got another quarterback.
Yes, that was in the 3rd round.
Yeah. I
So
think
we
it
go
was
to third or 4th.
4th, yeah. Wow.
No, I don't think any quarterbacks went in the 3rd.
Okay.
Yes, there it is. Dylan Gabriel to the Browns.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard he was okay, but he wasn't Shador Sanders.
Which is what are you doing? What's Cleveland doing?
And little nugget. So I'll skip the 4th round because we know. Let's go right to round 5. At pick 144, Shedeur Sanders. This was the last pick the Browns had. So the Browns picked 2 quarterbacks back to back. And I heard the other day that's the first time in the 70 years of the draft, the college draft, that's happened, where a team took 2 quarterbacks in the same draft.
And they traded in for that pick. They
And
traded up for that.
Yeah.
So do they think somebody else was going to just go right after that? I don't know. Maybe they thought the Rams were going to try to find the quarterback of the future. But why give up? You clearly could have had him at any time. Why are you trading up for him now?
Because they're the Browns. That's why.
Wow.
I have a scenario for you. This is my reckless speculation. With the Browns picking 2 quarterbacks, okay, and picking Shedeur Sanders, are you thinking? I'm thinking this pops into my head. You think they're going to try to make Shedeur Sanders, quote unquote, like his father, have him play like safety or cornerback for defense, then try to groom him as a quarterback also?
No, only because they've graded his running as not great.
Oh, he's not that fast. Oh, he's not. So
yeah, he's
okay.
not really like his father. And man, and his father would have a heart attack. Like he'd probably go down to the Cleveland front office and say, "How dare you?"
Yeah, no.
Okay.
What happened here? The stories were not out there until this started happening.
Right now, then they started. It's like, which is crazy.
That. Well, Dion was out there before the draft saying there were only certain teams he was going to play for. Right off.
Oh, that's right.
That was one mistake.
And apparently, when he would interview with teams that he didn't care for, he had his headphones on and he was listening to music while they were trying to interview him.
That I hadn't heard, and
he was telling people that they had changed their offensive scheme to fit him.
Okay. So you just answer my next question.
Then he skipped the combine. He didn't have a pro day, right?
Right.
He said, use my game tape.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. No.
Conducted himself poorly in interviews. Then he built his own clothing line, his own branding called Legendary. He hasn't done a damn thing yet. Built a shrine to himself for draft night and had a big party. And then got reality checked. And apparently I heard with the interview with Daboll had given him the playbook. He did the trick out of draft day, Belichick's trick, and he put money in there or something. And he knew that he hadn't read it because he didn't find the money.
Wow.
Have you heard that?
No, I never heard that.
I saw that movie, yes, where the guy, that's.
Have you seen the movie Bruce Draft Day?
No, I haven't. Oh, I've heard about it. I got to see it.
You got to watch it. It's great. There's a part in there where they ask the number 1 quarterback prospect to study a playbook. The Browns want to draft him, and they put $100 bill in there. And he comes in, he's like, "Oh yeah, I read the thing," and they knew because he didn't say anything about finding money in there, that he hadn't opened it. Apparently, Bill Belichick contributed that.
Oh, okay.
Belichick said, "I gave them that. I told them about that because they talked to a lot of coaches and GMs when they're making the movie about trying to get it real." And Belichick told them about that. He used to put money in the playbook to see if the guy had opened it up.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew what they didn't go through it if they didn't say, "Yeah, there was like money in there," So that wily Bill Belichick, which I don't know if we should talk about him today, but maybe.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess to tell me that story sometime because I'm going to read about it because I keep on seeing something about Belichick and I'm like, what's going on with him now?
Oh, geez, it's bad.
Yeah.
So now it's up to Shedeur. He's got to go in there and he's got to work hard and prove himself. And I do think he's got a leg up on Dylan. What's the guy's name? Dylan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Talent-wise, I think he does for sure. I don't know about his attitude.
Look, it's a weak quarterback room. It's Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, and those 2 guys.
Yeah, he could definitely.
And yeah, they have Watson on contract, but he's not going to play this year. So,
do you know why he's not going to play?
Because he's going to get paid.
He's getting paid. Oh, that's a question for you. What year is this for Joe Flacco?
18, 20.
Do you know he's been quarterback probably the same years that Shador Sanders has lived?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wait, Joe was drafted in 08. I
That's
know that.
17 or 18 years. So
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
all right, here's one for you. Where did Joe Flacco go to college?
He went to Pitt first, and then he went to Delaware.
Right. He went to Delaware. Now a lot of people know he went to Delaware.
Yeah, I know. I met Joe, and I got to know him back then.
Mm-hmm.
Good. He's a good guy.
He's a good dude. He really is.
He is.
Until he got hit by that guy, Hernandez. I can't remember his name. By the Dolphins when he was sliding down. Remember that play?
Almost took his head off. Yeah.
What was his name? As in the linebacker that hit him when he was sliding down.
Dirty McScuzzy.
No, it was not perfect.
See, that's why I'm not going to be a Dolphin fan anymore.
That's true.
I forgot who it was. Was it ESPN that showed the Cleveland draft room where when the Sanders pick that all the coaches were like Christmas was just canceled and it was the owner who was all like smiles and like
it was
like,
weird,
almost like he dictated that pick and they had picked the other quarterback first just to try to get him to get off their case about Sanders, but it happened anyway. I don't know. The whole thing
was
so bad.
Weird. They were all kind of standing around like, like we just burned our last pick, like
yeah.
I don't know. That was crazy.
It was Alonzo, something like that. Alonzo that hit him.
Nico Alonso.
Right.
Nico Alonso.
Yeah.
Remember?
Okay. All right.
Well, remember that trade with Luka
Oh,
Doncic?
yes.
It looked like it was going to net the Lakers better things.
An early exit is what it did.
Oopsie doopsies.
I'm not sure if I'm going to play anymore. It's like the game has lost interest, and I can get my son up here and play. And
LeBron's bruised himself up too much, flopping all the time. Yeah. Minnesota just smoked them 4-1.
Minnesota's a good young team.
And all I heard was like people on the radio bitching that Luka looked out of shape, disinterested.
Yes.
He won't play defense. He just wants to score. Wow. This is like it to me. It's one of we've seen this before. We've seen the Mets do this. We've seen teams, they load up with talent and then they can't
play together.
Right.
That's the thing. They all have their own thing and they can't play as a team.
Yeah. To me, that's been the biggest surprise. I was watching the Rockets and Warriors last night after I got home from a baseball game, and I was hoping that the Warriors would pick them off. It's going to go to a Game 7 now, so. But that's an interesting one because that would be a big upset too, taking out a 2 seed.
That's been definitely.
If I may make a suggestion, if there's a good book out there that you should read about basketball, I suggest this book. So if you want to zoom in, I have a book I just picked up from Amazon. Here's the book you should read. The Boston Globe Story of the Boston Celtics.
Wow.
Great read. From 1946, has press clippings and everything about the Celtics when they first started. It includes the 2024 championship win. So it's brand new. Celtic pride forever. Go team, go.
That is very current. If it includes last year's.
By the ghost of Red Auerbach, I do declare.
And I think they will take out the Knicks, even though the Knicks.
Yeah, I tell you what. One thing I do miss about not living in New England, it was like I'm not going to do a Big East reference. Well, one thing I do miss was falling asleep to listening to this.
Johnny Most.
Okay, Johnny Most. Okay, Larry Bird's got the ball. He's fiddling and diddling. He's doodling and daddling. He's huffing and puffing. Where did you get that voice?
Johnny Most. Yeah, he was great. And now the kids are all going, who? What?
Yeah, right.
What? Yeah.
What? Vin Scully? What?
He sounded like a Muppet, Johnny Most.
Someone's Johnny.
The chief rejects him.
Oh my God! Look at Parrish go up Lambeer's head. Oh my God! People say Johnny Most even said his voice sounds like a combination of me gargling, me swallowing razor blades while gargling on Santa Flush. So,
he was a character, man.
he was a character, and everything the Celtics did was great, and everything the Detroit Pistons did was absolutely horrible. Those were the days.
Unfortunately, I agree with you, Edson. I think the Celtics are going to beat the Knicks, but I think Cleveland's going to. It looks like Cleveland and Oklahoma City. I mean, I don't see it working out any other way this year.
Don't worry, my Celtics will come back. The Celtics are going to win the championship.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting. That'll probably be the most interesting matchup: Cleveland and Boston.
Yeah, well, the Knicks Boston's a good one.
That's old school. That's good stuff.
That's definitely too.
That's good stuff. There's been some good ones like Nuggets Clippers. That's exactly as advertised. It's tied to 2-3.
For sure.
And Kawhi's quietly playing very, very well. He's just going out there making baskets, and he's just doing his job.
Yep. In Indiana, they could surprise somebody. Don't count them out. They're quietly dangerous. And look what they just did to Milwaukee. Just annihilated them 4-1.
Yeah, that was quite surprising.
Yeah.
Edson, next time you watch a Milwaukee game with Indiana, could you tell your neighbor, Mr. Halliburton, not to run on the court, please? Yeah, you gotta control your brothers, okay, brother? I mean, what's going on here?
Oh gosh.
Did you hear whatchamacallit's explanation about that? Giannis, you talk about a class act.
He really is.
Him and his wife just had their 4th kid. I'm like, Giannis, kind of bro.
Isn't he only like 21?
Wow.
He's like he's like 27 or 28.
Yeah.
But Giannis is good. I think Giannis might be going to the Lakers. I'm hearing that some around some circles.
God.
Wow. Jeez, are you kidding me?
The Lakers just keep they got like a poop cannon. They just keep shooting it at the wall. Eventually, something's gonna stick, right? Good God.
The funny part is, someone said, I think I'm not sure what radio show it was. Milwaukee's like this. We're hearing rumors that Milwaukee's going to give up another big name center. No, we're not going to do that again. We did that with Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We're not going to the Lakers again. Nope.
Giannis just doesn't seem like the LA kind of guy.
He's not.
He's not showboaty. He doesn't belong there. I get why he wouldn't want to stay in Milwaukee. I get that, but he's not a Laker guy.
No.
So, continuing on with the
playoffs. Don't talk about it. Playoffs. You kidding me?
got hockey playoffs too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. You know me, I'm a big hockey guy, but I'm underwhelmed this year. I've watched some. Yeah. So, I mean, Florida dispatched Tampa Bay pretty easily. Washington dispatched Montreal pretty easily. Carolina
come to the red side, Keith. Come to the red side.
All these, Toronto didn't have much trouble with Ottawa. And so the East was pretty cut and dry, as you'd sort of expect. I guess I expected the Lightning to give the Panthers a little bit more of a struggle, but yeah. And I thought New Jersey might give Carolina, but Carolina just mopped the floor with them.
Yeah, it's just
jeez. And then the West Coast, sadly, Marc-Andre Fleury's career ended the other day. the stupid. I hate Vegas. I cannot stand the Vegas.
I hate those. Oh my gosh.
Just the whole thing. Yeah. It's funny.
like-
I was talking to my buddy Daryl, who's a big hockey guy, the other night, and Daryl and I agree that when the expansion draft, they're an expansion team. They're only sixth year, something like that. They've already won a cup. They're always right there. That expansion draft, like for whatever reason, there was like A-level talent available all over the place. Like teams let go of guys like Marc-Andre Fleury and to get drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights. And then when Seattle came in, that didn't happen. So it's almost like the NHL needed it to work in Vegas so bad that expansion draft was rigged to make sure.
That's a great point. That's a great
That
point.
was good.
To make sure that team was successful out of the gate because they had to sell sports in Vegas. That was the first team Vegas ever had. It has bothered me from day one that this team is that good out of the gate.
Yeah, I might have to start supporting them. Yeah. I'm looking for a new team, so I'm just.
So, are you saying you're gonna gamble on them, Edson?
It's like a crapshoot.
That way. You can put it that way. I mean, the odds are that I will.
He's gonna roll the dice on Vegas.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny though. You mentioned that about the draft. Edson, you can laugh at this again. I'm showing my age again. When in '67, when they did the expansion draft, because the original 6 wanted to expand, the Flyers got a team, and they said, "Okay, you can pick anyone you can. We'll give you a list of names you can pick from." And it took the Flyers 7 years, like 3 or 4 years, to start getting good because all the people in the draft were crap.
That's the way it's supposed to be. When the Panthers and the Lightning came in, they had crappy players.
Yeah,
right. When the Capitals came in, it was news on the Washington Post when they tied the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah,
they were 867 and 14, something like that. 22 points. Like they were horrible.
Yeah, because you're getting your team's fourth liners that they cut. That's what you're supposed to get. And when Vegas came in, they were getting first line players, Hall of Fame goalie. Like, how does that happen? That's not supposed to happen. So I'm convinced that the league rigged that to make sure that they were good. Because then the Kraken came in a couple years later and did not have the same benefit. So this series, this is shocking. This LA Edmonton. LA had a 2-0 lead on these guys.
Right.
And blew it. And this is the 4th straight year that they've lost to Edmonton.
Wow. Okay.
And it all turned in, I think it was game 3 or it might have been game 3 or game 4. I was watching it. The Kings were up 2-0 or 3-1 and ended up losing the game 5-4. And that was it.
That was it.
Series over. They never won again. Dallas, Colorado, that's a good one. I want Dallas to win. Sadly, I don't think they're gonna. And then St. Louis is given Winnipeg. Winnipeg's the President's Trophy winner. They have the best league.
President's Trophy curse. I keep on hearing that.
Yeah, and St. Louis is giving them all they got, man. So that's interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, last year's President's Trophy winner didn't even make the playoffs this year. Wait a minute. What was that?
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Yes. The Rangers, who just hired Penguins coach Mike Sullivan, who the Penguins fired this week. The Penguins did what the Steelers are afraid to do. The Penguins have missed the playoffs 3 years in a row. They haven't won anything since 2017. They've been eliminated in the first round when they did get in since they won their last cup. And they said, okay, 8 years is enough of that. Bye-bye. They say it was a mutual parting, but rumor on the inside was, Sullivan is crippled by the roster he's given. That he doesn't have as much say as Mike Tomlin does in like picking players. And I think they said he went with a list of demands. And I'm thinking the demands were get me some real defensive players here because they're terrible. Defense and their goaltending is abysmal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the general manager, Kyle Dubas, said, nope, we're good. I think that they were looking for an excuse to get rid of Sullivan, and he gave it to him. I was shocked that he went to the Rangers. I thought he was going to the Bruins because Fenway Sports Group owns the Penguins, which makes zero sense.
Okay, say that again.
Fenway Sports Group owns the Penguins. The people who own the Boston Red Sox own the Pittsburgh Penguins.
That makes no sense at all.
I know. And they love Mike Sullivan because he's a Boston guy. And I thought for sure that they helped engineer him getting out of his contract so he could go coach the Bruins, who need a new coach. And instead, the Rangers scoop him up. So it's a little soap opera here in the NHL. Little soap opera. Yeah. So Sully is now the coach of the Rangers. And my brother, who's done nothing but mock Mike Sullivan for the last decade, now is like, I'm so pumped up. We got Sully. Yeah.
I could actually picture that.
Like,
hey, I got a great name for the soap opera too. Go ahead. I'll let you know what it is in a second.
What it is. As the puck slides?
No, as the puck drops.
As the puck drops. Yeah.
And now the continuing saga as the puck drops.
So, yeah. So, I mean, good luck to Sullivan. I don't hate the man. It was just he went past his expiration date. You know, the knock I had on Mike Sullivan with the Penguins is as Sidney Crosby and that roster aged, he thought he still had the fastest team in the league, and he does not. And he's trying to play that way. And he's leaving the defense hanging out there, exposed, and they're giving up odd man rushes. And it's just, he was coaching 10 years ago with an aging group of players and his core anyway. And it just wasn't working. I'm like, he won't adapt, much like the guy who's coaching the Steelers. He won't adapt.
Well, you guys, I mean, you're talking about coaches in hockey. Only one that I really know well and from his Whaler days is Paul Maurice down in Carolina. He's been there for a good long time, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a really good coach. And right now, they're the odds on the Vegas odds are with the Hurricanes to win the whole thing right now. So
I'll still take the Capitals because Ovi's on a mission.
See,
he still looks young.
The Penguins need to do what Washington did, and that was like tear it down and rebuild it from scratch. You know, make some trades, better draft picks, and the Penguins are just hanging on to the past. And but we'll see. I mean, it doesn't mean getting rid of Sidney Crosby because they kept Ovechkin. They just replaced the guys around him.
Oh, this just in. Pittsburgh has just picked up a new guy.
Robert Woods.
Jaromir Jagr. And they're getting, hold on, and with Jagr, they're picking up Mario Lemieux. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a little tragedy this week. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yes, I saw. Did you see the video of it actually happening?
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is the video of it actually happening.
I saw that last night, and I'm like, wow. That is, I was like, holy.
That's just awful.
What was like 21 years old?
21-year-old. I have it here.
What the heck?
Let me bring this tweet up here and zoom it in. So he fell from the Clemente wall, which is 21 feet because Roberto wore number 21. So this was on Reddit. He was drunk. Inning before, he ripped his shirt off, poured half a beer all over himself. He jumped up from his seat when the Pirates got a hit. He jumped up so quick, he propelled himself off the ledge. He didn't do it on purpose. No one pushed him. He was there with his girlfriend. So he was a college football player named Kayvon Markwood.
Mm-hmm.
He remains in critical condition at Allegheny General Hospital.
Wow.
So, I checked this morning. Nothing's changed. So just awful. And, you know, it's funny because there's going to be an overreaction to this.
Yeah.
You know, if you look the way the Clemente wall, there's a little, that yellow So that's a piece of plexi. I don't know. Let me open it back up. So you see above the blue, there's like a yellow railing.
Yeah, I see a line. Yeah, I see a plexiglass.
Plexiglass, and then the yellow line, that's the home run line. Because if you look at the green wall next to it, right, you see the foul stripe go up and then across the top.
Okay.
So if it goes above the yellow stripe, it's a home run. But the fan, if he stands up, it's at like kneecap level. Now they're going to build.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? They're going to do something. They're going to build this giant railing because one guy. When I think the real thing you need to address is these guys drinking these 40-ounce beers. Like they'll drink 10 of them. Like, who's checking down on these guys? Like, you got to know when they come up for another one that they're past inebriated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I don't want to sound like old man yelling at clouds, like, stop giving them the beer. But,
stop giving them the beer. You're right.
But the guy was inebriated. I mean, like you could tell too, like how when he was falling, he looked like a rag doll. Like his body.
It didn't look real when I first saw the video. I'm like, okay, I know it's going to happen, but
it's like somebody threw a dummy out of the stairs. You know what I mean? Like, it's just awful.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see when he started falling, he tried to grab back onto the railing. As he's flailing with his arms to try to get. Why won't this play?
Yeah.
But he landed right on his skull. He fractured his skull, and so he's got brain bleed, and it's just awful. It's unnecessary. It's so stupid. I'm going to a ball game and die.
Well, what happened? Oh man, didn't the guy like jump from the stands and try to catch a ball in Cincinnati, and they have the picture of him flying across, and he fell to his death or something like that? I can't remember the video.
I remember there was one where people grabbed a guy and held him, and there was a guy that fell out of the upper deck at Yankee Stadium.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah,
years ago, but it was behind home plate, so he landed on the net. And
right.
I remember he flew past the window, and it was Tom Seaver, Phil Rizzuto, and Bill White, and they were like, "Did a body just fly by the window?" Like, yeah.
I can hear Rizzuto. Go ahead, do it.
White, what happened?
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite Monty Python skits when they're watching the bodies commit suicide. It's like 2 people, 3 people, just 2 people. Like,
yeah.
Oh man.
So, that was the sad piece of baseball news this week. Other news: Max Fried is still. Look at this. He's got a 1.01 ERA.
That's like that. That was the one thing wow. He was supposed to be that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd they find him?
Exactly.
I don't know. Where did they find him?
Wow. I just.
Well, that's the thing. Cal Raleigh, Seattle's catcher, who I absolutely love. This guy's a stud. Leads MLB in home runs. This guy here, Riley Green for Detroit, homered twice in the 9th inning last night. Every day there's some great baseball stories. Bruce, your guy Yamamoto,
he's awesome.
Under 0.90. The irony,
he's awesome.
The irony is, last Friday night he lost to a certain Pittsburgh Pirates team. Oopsie doopsies.
In Los Angeles, 3-0. We don't care.
Paul Skeens is not looking like Paul Skeens this year. He got lit up again the other day. So he's had 2 bad starts. His ERA is well over 2. And he hasn't really. Last year he was over 100 miles an hour constantly, and he hasn't hit it yet. So wonder what's going on with him.
And the shocking news of baseball is Mike Trout is on the IL again.
No, is he really?
Wow. Yes.
Is he really? I missed that.
Yeah, let me look it up. I glanced at that real quick. I'll look it up again, but I'm pretty sure he is.
Injuries. Latest Angels injuries. Let's see what we got here. Mike Trout. Left knee bone bruise.
Retroactive.
10-day retroactive to May 1st. Oh, God.
Ever since he signed that big contract, I don't know.
the Angels, they were one of those teams that made that mistake when they brought in Albert Pujols. It was the beginning of the end for them.
Mm-hmm.
It was never the same. So the shock, AL East, this is surprising to me that the Orioles.
Baltimore, yeah, that's.
Yes.
Geez, I think when we made our preseason picks, I had them in second place.
I had them winning the whole division and winning the American League.
Now, it's May 3rd, so
yeah,
not hit the panic button. It's been 32 games or whatever, 33 games, but still, it's crazy. Tampa and Toronto are kind of where I thought they'd be, somewhere around 500. And the Red Sox are doing what I thought the Red Sox were going to do.
Yeah, I had them winning the division. So
you did, Edson. I don't think they're that close,
but I'm glad. But I'm glad the Yankees are at the top there.
Yeah. Did you see the game this week? Yankees were playing the Orioles, and the first 4 batters for New York hit home runs.
Oh, yes.
Holy cow! That reminded me. That reminded me of that game early on in the year when they were they hit 9 home runs or something like that.
Yeah, there was 12 pitches, 4 home runs, and then the 5th batter was Jazz Chisholm, hit a triple. Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you? I heard this story about Yogi Berra was telling a story. No, Whitey Ford was telling a story about Yogi Berra, and they were playing. The Yankees were playing. I'm not sure what team it was. So, first pitch of the game, home run. Second pitch of the game, another home run. Third pitch of the game, he hit a batter. Fourth pitch of the game, home run. So Ralph Houck goes out to the mound, says to Yogi Berra, Yogi, what's going on with Whitey? You think he's got anything in his pitches? And Yogi Berra says, how the hell did I supposed to know? I haven't touched a damn ball yet. So
well, it's true.
Yogi was the best, man. Hey, boo boo. How about some picnic baskets? Detriot.
That's my pick. I picked them so far. They're playing really well.
They are playing better than I thought they would. I knew they'd be good, but boy, Tigers, and they're fun to watch. I like Detroit.
The White Sox are playing better than I thought too.
They are, and I believe you guys both took the White Sox in the worst team derby.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
Colorado, yeah. Colorado will make a comeback. Don't worry.
Yeah. Better luck next year.
In the West, Texas is shocking me. They were out in front at the beginning, and now they're struggling. Yeah, that's 500 team there.
I think I had them winning that division. Jeez.
Yeah,
I have Seattle winning that division.
Wow, and the homeless, the vagabond, the nomad Athletics are in second place, over 500.
That's good.
The team without a home. Isn't that
right?
Crazy?
That is crazy.
Bring them to Hartford. We'll take them. The Mets. The Mets look diabolically evil.
Yeah, it's not that surprising, but it's a little surprising. Jeez.
Well, like you said to me, I think you texted me and you said Soto hasn't even done anything.
Yeah, and now he's starting to.
Right. They're loaded. Lindor, Alonso, Soto.
And Philadelphia can't play consistent baseball.
No, they can't.
But you do see the Braves have been steadily going up. They started out 0-8, and now they're steadily been going.
Yeah. They dropped 2 in a row though right now.
Yeah,
they were about to go to 500, and they lost 2. But I'm not worried about the Braves. I think it'll be those 3 teams in the end. But one of them is going to be the odd team out. I don't think 3 of them are getting in the playoffs.
Probably not.
One of them is going to miss the wild card. And the Nationals and the Marlins are vying for mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
In the Central, the Cubs are doing much better than I thought they would too. I thought Milwaukee was still the class of the division, but so far I'm wrong.
Oh, I had the Cubs.
Who did I pick? I picked Milwaukee, and this sounds really weird. I hope you guys take it the right way, but I think and this might be weird, but I think the soul of the team passed away when Euchre passed away.
Yeah.
This might take a little bit of time for them to get back. I mean, by All-Star break, they'll be like, okay, we have to get it back together because Euchre was such a big part of their team.
We were talking about him last night. I was at a Hartford Yard Goats game, and we were talking about Uke and just the funny stories. There's three of us, and we were just laughing, and he was awesome.
He was.
Terry Francona is paying dividends already in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's doing exactly what we thought because with Francona there.
Yeah. And the Pittsburgh Pirates have been eliminated from all contention.
Not yet.
Oh,
no, they're playing a play-in game against
San Diego,
Colorado, against Chicago,
Colorado,
against Colorado, and the winner plays a best-of-7 against the Chicago White Sox.
Damn.
Well, the Pirates are the third worst team, so that makes sense. Okay.
But they have a very nice stadium
in beautiful uniforms, and
and McCutchen, very underrated player.
McCutchen is the best player on the team right now, and he's 38 years old. He's
killing. He was up to bat when that guy fell.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And he's knocking 2 runs.
He hit a 2-run game-winning double when the guy fell. That's why the guy jumped up. He was excited. I mean, Andrew McCutchen is the closest thing to Willie Stargell or Roberto Clemente in that town.
Right.
He's a baseball icon, and everyone loves him. And he's a good guy. He's big in the community.
He's a really good guy.
Yeah. I remember when Clint Hurdle was the manager, he said, Andrew McCutchen's the kind of guy I want my daughter to marry. That's who he is. So it's just too bad they suck. And they're going to be off. They're playing the Padres right now. They're going to, then they got to go out west. I think they got to play Arizona and then the Padres again. And they're awful. Anyway. And then you got that 3-team race in the West. You got
that division is incredible. That's like all four teams are actually in contention. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. Like from day to day, it's like, the Padres are in first, the Dodgers are in second. Oh, no, the Giants are in first. They just keep flip-flopping every couple days. That's going to be fun to watch right to the end. It's going to be an injury or a pitcher going down.
And by the way, San Diego actually drafted Max Fried back in 2012. Wouldn't it be great if they still had him there?
That is true. That is true.
I think the Yankees are playing the game with Max Fried playing Garrett Cole. Okay.
Can you imagine?
We're good.
Cole? My God.
Oh my gosh.
And then your Colorado Rockies.
They're saving themselves for the play-in series. Come on.
They're going to do better.
I want to show you guys something. Can you see this?
Let
me solo this. So this is the program from the Yard Goats last night. It's a little fuzzy here. How do I focus? Is there a focus knob on this? No. Anyway, do you see that list right there? You don't have to read it, I guess. Those are all the prospects before this season, and they've called a few up this year already too, that have gone to the Colorado Rockies. 8 seasons worth right there. Look at all those names.
That is incredible.
Why are the Rockies so freaking bad? So, like we said this last time, I think it's a combination of they're calling these guys up too soon, and they don't know how to develop them once they're there.
Yeah, maybe giving up too soon too.
They're giving up on them too soon, right? How do you bring up 70+ guys in 9 seasons?
I need to go to a Yard Goats game next time I come up to Connecticut, because when I see that stadium, I used to work in both of those buildings because the Travelers Data Center is in back of the Yard Goats Stadium, and Connecticut National Bank.
It's just a big empty building.
Right. Yeah, I used to work in that building when I first moved to Connecticut, right after high school.
Wow. They were named, right. I won't bother with the other camera again, but so I'll hold it up here. They were named you can't read it. They were named the best minor league baseball organization again last year out of 120 minor league teams in all levels. And they've won the best minor league stadium 7 years out of the 10 it's been open.
Nice.
They Hartford actually got something right. It's hard.
Do they get good crowds? You guys get good crowds?
39 sellouts last year.
That's awesome.
They sell out almost once the weather gets really nice, like it is now. It's standing room only on the weekends, and on
That's
weekdays,
awesome.
it holds about 8,000. On weekdays, there'll be 6,000 in there, and on weekends, it's standing room only.
Hmm.
And last year was the first year they actually won and made the playoffs. Like they haven't even been very good. But
That's
it
pretty
just
cool, though.
It was a good
it's
fan
really
base,
it's
yeah.
so well run. It's family friendly. Last night we made friends with everybody sitting around us. It's just we had a great time. There was a woman behind me. She was her first baseball game. She didn't know shit. And her husband and us, we were trying to teach her the rules. She got so into it. She's like, she bought tickets to another game before she left. She's like, I'm going home and I'm watching YouTube videos and how the baseball rules. And
Cool.
yeah, she actually said, so what do they have to do to get a touchdown when she started? She literally said that.
Block that kick. Okay.
Yeah, you know, like she was confused. Like, how come they can run sometimes and sometimes they can't? And you know, like the guy hit the ball, but he didn't run anywhere. And you know what I mean? Like, well, he caught it in the air, so he can't advance. You know?
Oh, okay.
That kind of thing. You know, it's a pop up to like second base, and the guy's on first, and she's like, "Why didn't he run?" Like, because he'd be out. It was a great game, and it was actually I felt like Nostradamus because the first baseman for Hartford gets a big, huge guy, and they put his numbers up, and he still has no home runs. He's batting like 364, and all the numbers are there, but 0 home runs, and he's huge. And I said to this guy Dave next to me, I said, "Tonight's the night. He's getting off this night. He's hitting that home run tonight." Well, he got up in the 9th inning. He still didn't hit one, and he hit a single, and I'm like, oh. He's not going to get the home run. I was wrong. It ended up going extra innings. Guess who hit a 2-run walk-off home run?
There you go.
He hit a 2-run walk-off home run in the 10th. So, yeah. I was like, holy shit, I do it. I said he was going to do it. Yeah. So, they're fun. It's a fun time
Cool.
out. They're building up the area around it. You won't recognize it anymore.
I got to check it out because that
Me too.
a lot of memories in that neighborhood.
Yeah. When they first said they were putting that stadium up on the north end, I'm like, that's going to fail miserably. I was wrong.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys ready for your second trivia question?
Oh, that's right.
Question before we sign off here.
Okay. From 1980, this is a basketball question. From 1980 to 1989, what was the unusual thing about the NBA Finals?
I mean, I'll have to think about all the old.
No,
films.
don't do that first part because you're going to strain yourself.
Well, God, in 1980, it wasn't even broadcast live, I don't think. But by the time the decade ended, it was one of the biggest sports, if not the biggest sport. Boy, what was the question?
Was it the way it was televised?
No, it's nothing about televised.
Okay.
What is it again? There's the one common thread.
From one common thread.
1980 to 1989.
80 to 89. Let's see. Oh, you had Lakers, Celtics, 76ers, Houston. No, Lakers. Yeah, Houston. Was Houston in there once? Boy. Trying to think of the teams that Detroit was in there. Maybe it has something to do with all the winners.
No.
Oh, okay.
Boy, every coach in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Did every team who won have a number 1 draft pick on it?
No.
Jeez.
Michael Jordan was home crying because he didn't make it till the 90s.
Well, that would have been awesome, but no.
Oh, Every year the finals were on, Michael Jordan went to the Bulls management and said, "Fire Doug Collins."
That was the third guess, but no.
That was a good guess, though.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Oh boy.
I don't know.
None of the final scores topped 100.
No.
Boy.
Okay, you ready? Edson, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh wait. They all had the same theme song.
No, no. Mired in mediocrity. The answer is the home games were either being played at the Boston Garden or the Los Angeles Forum.
All of them?
All of them?
Listen,
Throughout the
1980.
Lakers, Celtics.
1980, Lakers, Philadelphia. 81, Boston, Houston. 82, Lakers, Philadelphia. 83, Lakers, Philadelphia. 84, Lakers, Celtics. 85, Lakers, Celtics.
Holy
86, Houston, Boston. 87, Lakers, Celtics. 88, Detroit, Lakers. 89, Detroit, Lakers.
Wow.
cow. That is
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Someone told me that. I'm like, I got to think about it. Then I realized it's true.
those two
Wow.
organizations. Holy cow.
That makes sense. I don't know how I let that one go by. I guess I thought there was a Houston set Philadelphia one in there somewhere.
Nope.
I mean, I knew Philadelphia was big during the 80s, but
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
that concludes our trivia questions for today.
That was a good one.
And I need to start charging for these trivia questions because we're building a stadium in DC for $3 billion.
oh, that's
I need to make some money, so
I'm
I'll
glad
see if I can find a sponsor.
Let me find that real quick.
Did the demolition crew come in for the old one?
Yeah, right. Okay.
They're gonna have to because it's sitting where they're building the new one.
Yeah.
Right. I sent you guys. I think I sent you Keith pictures of what
I got it
RFK looks like now.
Here.
Oh yeah, I saw it. You sent it to both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the current RFK. Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah.
This is going to be amazing, and I love this bottom picture with right here where my mouse is circling. There's the Capitol building. We'll
Mhm.
be seen through the window. Whoops, I'm shrinking the wrong. Hang on, let me go in this one and blow it up. Well, guess that's as big as I can make it. That's lame. Anyway, look it up for yourselves.
That's your homework for this week.
But right there in the center of this window is the Capitol building. That's going to be gorgeous, man. Also,
but we're getting a lot of pushback. There's a lot of pushback now in the stadium. They're not sure they want to do it.
Big it is. Look at this. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decks? Imagine being in the 6th deck. Like, what are you going to see way up there? That's crazy.
Binoculars.
Yeah. With this big ribbon scoreboard going around there. And
Yeah, that looks incredible.
If you guys notice, if you look at the back part of the stadium, where it's open in the back, it's shaped in the letter W for the Washington.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Now the only thing missing is to go back to their original name.
Right. Which will happen if they build this stadium.
I think
Really?
so.
Really think so?
I think so.
We're going to find out because remember we did that story where they're going to start selling Redskins merch this year. And if that Redskins merch moves, and I know it will,
yes,
money talks.
And
money
people
talks.
and they need it down here. They really do.
And
but they have to get right.
And if the customers want the Redskins back, then they'll do it.
Definitely.
Well, I couldn't find. I don't know where I put those files. This whole time we've been talking, I've been looking for that Matt Eberflus picture.
Oh. We're still waiting to
I don't know. I'm so organized, I lost it. I went through like every folder of graphics I have, and I'm like, where the hell is it? Yeah.
Well, don't worry. He's still waiting. He's still looking around.
I got to keep that handy. I just got to put that somewhere. That was the best. Matt Eberflus. So I still have here, and we'll have to do it next time on one of these shows. I still have the top 12. Well, it's 13 because we have our favorite teams. Plays of the year from the NFL.
Okay.
That I put together for like our last NFL show, and then we ran out of time, and they're still sitting here. We should use them at some point before the new season. But lots to talk about. So, hey.
Well, the schedule will be coming out in I don't know,
on the 14th.
Yeah, less than
That's
2
right.
weeks.
That's right.
And don't worry. If you get picked by the Atlanta Falcons, check your sources before you answer the phone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or you can always say the magic words, say Shador is for you.
Remember, kids, knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
Right. Caller ID goes a long way.
And it's heavily rumored, Bruce, that the Steelers-Packers game is the one that's going to Ireland.
All right, I have to look it up. I think you're right. Yeah, you and I were talking about that. You texted me.
Heavily rumored, but
we won't soon enough.
Yeah, we won't know until
like 11 days.
That's right.
Drops, but yeah. When you hear that insider thing, it's like, oh yeah, that's the game it makes sense with the green. They're a legendary franchise. This is more than just an international game because the Steelers' former owner Dan Rooney was the ambassador to Ireland under the Obama.
That's right. Yeah.
So, and the Packers the Steelers have 9 home games, so they got that one disposable home game.
Okay, that actually makes sense.
It makes sense. So, the crappy part is it won't be in Pittsburgh and easily navigatable too. But Ireland's not horrible to go. I mean, it's not that expensive, and the stadium's bigger, so.
I'm picking early for a change. Green Bay over Pittsburgh.
I concur. I'm telling you right now, the Steelers are going to be 10-7. No matter what.
I could see that.
I'm waiting for this trifecta from Edson who will say these magic words. I'm jumping off the bandwagon of the Miami Dolphins. They're all over my football team.
I predict the Steelers will be 8-1.
And the tie game will be against Cleveland.
Yes.
With Shador Sanders throwing the winning touchdown the last 3 seconds.
Yeah,
Steelers Dolphins in Pittsburgh this year. As in Steelers. Dolphins.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yep.
I'm definitely not rooting for the Dolphins anymore.
The game is over. Edson wins again.
Oh my God. Well, that's all I got. Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, that's it for me.
That's it for me.
All right. It was good to see you guys. Thank you.
Great seeing you guys.
Yeah, thank you for lifting my spirits.
Right.
Please like, share, subscribe, participate, if you will, with us here on the channel. You can find us at GeekTime.net on the interwebs. There you have it.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, I think no. Yes, the joyfulness is over. The joyfulness is over.
Thanks for watching GeekTime TV. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure to check the little bell icon anytime someone from our network drops new content here. Want some GeekTime swag? Check out the merchandise available in the GeekTime TV store, linked in the channel description below. Share GeekTime TV with friends, and as always, thank you for your support. We'll see you soon.